welcome to my birthday. I hope you're all well. In a little while, Alan will be on, and we're going to give it a few minutes for everybody to get on. But yes, today's my birthday. As you can see, birthday balloons from the husband. He did good. He did good. I had loads of presents, and it was really fantastic. I've had a really lovely, relaxed day, and it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So I'm just going to, okay, let me just add that. That's that, I think, yeah. So yeah, Alan's here. I'm just going to bring him on, and we're going to have a little chatto, and we'll see how we get on. So, like, I've got my cup of tea, obviously, and hello, Alan.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi. Yeah, I can see. Can you see me?
I can. You're so small, though. Do I make you bigger? Um,
That's fine. I don't need to be too big. Don't worry.
Oh deario, hang on a sec. I'll see if I can make you bigger, darling.
Hi,
Expand.
everyone. Happy birthday, first of all. Oh, now I'm really big. So,
Whoa, whoa. I'm sorry about that,
I did
Alan.
not agree on this one.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry,
Good.
dear. I don't know how to. I'm sorry. It's also new to me, and
I get you.
so I'm just trying to figure out how to do it. There you go. So I'm big again, and you're little. Is that all right?
I'm absolutely fine with that. Yeah. Happy birthday, yeah, by the way.
Thank you so
First and
much. I've had
foremost.
such a beautiful day. I had loads of presents. I've had so many messages from people. It's just been absolutely wonderful. It's been lovely. My 55th chapter of my life.
Quite symbolical, isn't it?
I
Look at all
don't
the
know.
pink behind you.
It seems mad to me that, in my head, I'm like 20. Do you know what I mean? So it's all a bit crazy, really. But yeah. So everybody's saying hello to you in the comments. Only a few people so far, but it's
Hi,
early.
everyone.
But
Hmm.
they the book, on the whole, the book club have really loved the book, darling. I love it, as you know. Here's my lovely hardback copy.
Oh, there you go. Me subtly in my promotion, it's here as well. You never
Woo!
know who
This is
needs to see
it.
it.
It's fabulous. Look how beautiful this is. And I tell you what, as well, this is such a great quality book. You're never sure with Amazon, are you? But this is
It's a
it
big
is
gamble, yeah.
it is absolutely solid. Feels really nice. It's very tactile, and it's a fantastic story. So
Oh, thank you. I
there's
appreciate.
that. But yes, I don't know if you can you see the comments, Alan, or not.
I can, yeah.
Yeah,
So, oh, thanks. That's very kind of you people. It's a good way to start. I
yeah,
guess I'll stick around.
yeah. So quite a few people are going to buy the hardbacks. So the cover design was a good idea.
Yeah, no, I think it was a bit of a, when I first started off, it was, I mean, I'm still happy with the paperback, but in all fairness, I had I had zero budget because you have to do everything on your own, right?
Yeah.
Bonjour, comment ça va? Ça va bien, merci bien. A bit of French as well. There you go.
Even I understood that.
There you go. Yeah, it was just in the beginning, I didn't have the budget to invest in those kind of things. And then I started working with Matt Barnes, who's really good and quite known in the horror genre.
Yeah.
And we had a couple of calls together, and I really kind of told him what I wanted, the vibe that I wanted, the 90s slasher poster vibe. And yeah, I'm super happy with it now.
It's absolutely beautiful. It really is. It's a gorgeous cover. As is, I've ordered the second one today, and
Yeah.
so looking forward to
This
the
one, you mean? By
that
any
one. I haven't got
chance?
a copy of that in front of me, so thank you, Ellen. So I was just going to start. I know people in the comments will hopefully ask you questions in a bit, but
Mhm.
just going to start asking you general questions. Is that all right? Just ask you about yourself, really, a little bit. You can say as much
Yeah.
or a little as you want.
Absolutely. I did want to say one thing actually first as a thank you because to everyone who's watching, Sharon was the very first person who ever reviewed my debut. This is what, last August or September now.
God,
So
yeah.
yeah, so it feels really nice after all this time finally talking to you as
Dear.
live as it gets, not being face to face. But so I really appreciate all the support you've shown. So massive, massive thank you before we get
Yeah.
into this.
My complete passion is indie horror, and especially UK European, especially because the Americans get such a big amount, and the UK and the European people they don't get promoted so much. So that was the whole point of the indie horror book club. Really, was to introduce people to new authors they've never come across before. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, that was the point. And hopefully, and I know Alan knows about this, but we are planning a UK indie horror author convention in August, bank holiday weekend of this year, which will be in Birmingham. I think we've got a location.
Oh,
Uh,
great.
so it'll be, and I'll be at that. I'll be on the door taking all the money. I'm the accountant. So,
Grad.
yeah, it'll be really
I'll
good.
be there as well. If it happens, like I told you, I'll definitely take a train from Belgium all the way up to Birmingham. It would be fantastic meeting everyone, so
Well,
definitely.
I come from about 30 miles away from there. So it's really good. So it means I'm going up that week anyway to visit my family because I haven't seen them for 4 years.
Maybe
So
about time, exactly. Birmingham, woohoo, Shelley, exactly.
yeah, Shelley's in. I think Shelley's in. You're not in Brum, are you, Shell? Um, I think she's outside, but she's definitely she's definitely from the Midlands. She's my sister from another mystery, Shelley.
That's cute.
But let me ask you some questions, my darling. Can you tell us a bit about yourself? Where are you? Where are you? Are you actually from Belgium? Because you speak quite a lot of languages, don't you?
Yeah, I am Belgian, so my mother tongue is Flemish or Dutch. I live in Brussels, so we speak French here on the daily as well. I lived in a couple of European countries over the years, but I kind of settled or temporarily settled 7 years ago in Brussels. Yeah, what else would you like to know? I've got my doggy who's behind me. I'll show you. She's
Oh,
probably sleeping.
I'm
It's my
surrounded by
Remain.
pillows,
Wait,
sweetie.
I'll show her. She's my Romanian stray puppers. Do you want to say hi,
Oh,
girl?
hello,
Oh,
darling. Hello,
this is
gorgeous
Blanche.
girl. Hello.
Yes, adopted her from Romania. She was a stray. Other than that, when I'm not writing, I'm teaching English and Dutch. And yeah, love traveling, love cultures, architecture, which you can probably see when you when you
Oh,
read the novel.
yes. Brussels.
Anything with language and culture.
I love Brussels. I love Belgium actually. One of my favourite um, cities is Bruges, and but yes, I actually taught English as a foreign language. Not in Europe, I have
Hmm.
to say, because most Europeans can speak better English than me. Um,
We
so,
try. We fail, but
but yeah, I taught English in Russia and in South America as
oh
a foreign
wow.
language, and but yeah, it's very impressive, isn't it? And actually, I worked. This will make you laugh. Hi, Joe. Hello, Melina. Hello, everyone. Um, I worked as kind of as a missionary, but not in the Christians. And I
Oh,
worked
look
for
at
this
that.
company called Mission Oost, which was based in Holland and funded by Belgium.
Now,
So,
so you're welcome. Welcome.
so we
Hope you
used to
enjoyed the
take
experience. Like,
yeah, we used to take stuff into war zones and stuff and food and medicine. But anyway, my next
respect.
question. I know this, but I'm not sure other people do. Alan Shivers is not your real name, right? So where did you come up with Alan Shivers? And I know this, but if you could tell everybody where you come up from, because I love it. I love this story.
It's a bit of a geeky one, but I guess we're in the right zone for that, right? So, basically,
Bookish space is safe.
it's a safe space. Yeah, basically, my favorite 90s slasher is I Know What You Did Last Summer. Grew up with that. I'm from '86, so I'm a 80s, '90s kiddo. And my favorite actors of all time is Sarah Michelle Gellar, and the name of her character was Helen Shivers. Shelley, exactly. She should have been a final girl.
She should.
And I thought I'll twist on that and go from Helen Shivers to Alan Shivers. First of all, because I don't think many people would be able to pronounce my Flemish name. And also because it feels a little bit more, yeah, campy and fun. And that entire chase scene, for me personally, is my all-time favorite chase scene in any slasher or any horror in general. So,
I love that film.
so there.
Absolutely. I mean, I was, I was born at the end of the 60s, obviously. So I was a teenager in the 80s and an adult in the 90s. Shelley, actually, I don't know if you know Shelley, but Shelley runs a Point Horror book club. Tales Point Horror, which is one of my favourite book clubs I belong to, and that which is very 90s. I was an adult during that time and enjoying myself far too much and travelling. But it's such fun for me to read those now as an adult because I missed them the first time around. Um,
Bit of nostalgia, isn't it?
yeah,
Thanks, by
it's
the way,
brilliant.
Amelia.
It's brilliant. So, when did you start writing? Have you always written? When did you start writing, or is it something you've always done?
Kind of always, it started off really, I guess camp is kind of my thing. As a kid, I was always kind of sketching these old comic books already with like slasher girls before I was even allowed to watch them. And then I studied English, Spanish literature at university. So we did a lot of, plays and poetry and short stories. Never thought I was, I guess, good enough, or the self-confidence wasn't there at that time.
It's common
And
amongst
then
authors, I think.
I think so, and I still have these like little, pinch me moments. It's still very, very fresh. I've only have two books out.
Yeah.
And then actually, this one I started writing during the pandemic. So this is the first. I mean, European Hall's the first one, is the debut. So that was the first time I've ever written a full-on book, and learned a lot through the experience with proofreaders, editors, beta readers. All this stuff was new to me. All these, abbreviations. When I saw arc reader for the first time, I was like, what the heck is an arc? All this stuff that you learn through all of a sudden being in the world of novels, I guess.
And also being, self-publishing is not the easiest option. I think people think that,
Mm-mm.
oh well, if you self-publish, it's easy, or you're an indie author. It's actually hard because you have to do everything yourself, don't you? Everything.
Hmm. Absolutely. Even when it comes to like tax returns and filing paperwork through Amazon, and changing my official statute, like legally as well at home, that I'm not just a teacher, but a teacher and a writer. All the promo, which can sometimes feel very cringe when you go like, okay, how else can I promote my book? People must be sick of me by now, So you try.
It's difficult as well, and I know that writers by their very nature tend to be quite introverted. Really, for
Hmm.
instance, I've got indie books planned all this year, and you are the only author who's agreed to do a live.
Ah, really? Yeah, I guess I'm a bit of an extrovert. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'm
ambivert,
too.
whatever you want to call it. Yeah,
I'm
there
an
you go.
ambivert. The others want to do it on, recorded, so that if anything, they say anything wrong, they can take it out,
Hmm.
and
Oh,
then
I'll
just
definitely
generally
say
it's quite
something
shy.
wrong, but go with it, right? So.
I don't edit anything. I had this conversation with somebody the other day. They're saying they were editing, and I was like, I don't edit anything. I switch the button on and see what happens. Do you know what I mean? What's your
Live a little,
favorite
yeah.
what's your favorite part of writing? And now most people would say the end. But do do you
No,
work from
not.
a plot, or do you get the hook first, or the characters, or the dialogue? How do you plot out your books?
I kind of make sketches and mind maps first. It kind of goes on, I kind of write different characters, what their perspectives would be, what their quirks would be, like one being interested, in architecture, the other in superheroes, the other la la la. Then I write little diary entries through different perspectives to kind
Oh,
of to make it feel like you have different people that are actually in the book, so it doesn't just feel like one voice, I hope at least. Like I said, I'm fairly new at this, so I'm learning as I go. Then I kind of plot it out, but then so far, because I'm writing the third one at the moment, over halfway through, and it always changes from the way it starts. Like, and then I kind of sometimes get a bit stuck because I make it difficult for myself. So
yeah.
like now on the third one, no spoilers with that, but I was writing and I thought, oh crap. Now, how do I get rid of all of these? They all need to die, don't they? Because, so I'm like getting a bit stuck sometimes. But I guess the favorite part, um, the dialogues. I really enjoy the meta level of slashers and having these characters that know the rules and the tropes and that want to subvert them and play with that. Kind of, like those. There's always one scene in all the Scream movies, right, where they discuss the final girl, they discuss the slasher or the first girl, and writing those dialogues is really fun. And yeah,
I'm sure it is.
it's.
I'm sure it is. I
Mhm.
am. I'll write too. I don't publish anything, but I write and I do poetry. Um, and I
Ooh,
have since
send
I
me
was little.
something.
Yeah, but I've never fancied being a writer. I, no.
No, wait and see. Wait and see.
What's
Thank you,
your
by
own?
the way, Amelia and Joe. I'm reading the
Hello,
comments in the
Joe.
meantime too, so I appreciate it.
Hello, Joe, and thank you so much. I had a present today from Joe. Um, where have I put it? Oh my lord! She bought me a book. Pardon me, she bought me a book. She bought me a bookmark that's in the shape of a werewolf.
How cute is that?
I know, it's like, it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Joe. She also sent me chocolate, which is always a,
That's always
you
a
know
plus.
how
As a
it is.
Belgian, I can only say go, Joe. So
Oh, Belgian chocolate. Mm.
grew up with it. It's a problem.
No, but nowhere makes chocolate like Belgium. It's the best in the world. Um, what's your own preferred genre of horror? Is your preferred genre slashers, or do you like other? What other genres of horror do you like to read personally?
I appreciate all genres, to be honest. Well, no, that's not honest. I think I appreciate the art of all different types of horror, but I don't personally like splatter too much or extreme too much. I think it must be extremely difficult to write it, and so I have a lot of respect for it. But it's not personally my thing. I like the tension more than the actual in-your-face gore, but each to their own, right, in life. But definitely slasher, psychological, I like a lot too, when the human psyche is a bit more involved.
Yeah, me
But there's
too.
something about a good slasher that you have this framework where you can just kind of release your anxiety and project any kind of fear into that and leave in a very kind of cathartic way of, oh, that was fun and I knew that will happen, but now I'm all better, you know?
I love it because you nobody's safe in a slasher, and I'm of the opinion that. I mean, we'll go into this book in a minute. So beware,
Hmm.
people, there will be spoilers ahead. So if you haven't read it, please, but later on. But you think in normal life, these people wouldn't survive. You know, there's no way you could be stabbed 10 times and survive, right? So that's
Hmm.
what makes them kind of fun, that idea of, coming back, or you never know who's coming back. You never know who's going to survive. You never know who's going to live through the next one.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
what I love about it, because in my opinion, everyone should die in every book. But that's my opinion because I'm a dark soul. But yeah,
A dark soul with pink hair, there you go.
yeah, it's to fool everyone. That is, Alan. It's to fool everyone. But
Underneath there's a bit of darkness. Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of darkness there, I think. I've read some splatterpunk. When I first joined a book talk, I had quite a lot of authors send me arcs. I'm very grateful when people do that. Of and the
Hmm.
splatterpunk. I don't mind some of it, but some of it that's a bit on the edge of disgust is too much for me. I don't want
Hmm.
to be disgusted when I'm reading. Doesn't frighten me. I just don't want to be throwing up. You know what I mean?
I get you. You want to keep the chocolate in. Exactly.
Well, the way I saw it today is this: birthdays are like Christmas Day. I had chocolate for breakfast this morning. So, you know what I mean? You should be allowed to eat chocolate all day on your birthday, I feel.
Absolutely. All year, if you ask me. I'm a Belgian, so, you know.
What authors inspire you? What authors did you used to read, or do you read a lot? And what did you read when you were younger?
Well, to be fair, these were Belgian books, you know, Flemish and French books, so they're probably not really well known in the Anglophone world.
All right.
But recently, of course, there's Stephen King. But when it comes to kind of started doing research when I was writing my own slasher, because I wasn't really sure how do you write a chase scene. Because when you think of a chase scene, you think of film usually, and the suspense and the music. And I got really into Sarah Jules's book, who's also an indie author, and that you know
Oh, I
she's
love Sarah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So her book Don't Lie is amazing, and then Emerald O'Brien. She has written over 30 books. She's a bestseller. She's
Wow.
Canadian. Got in touch with her, and she's has written the slasher series Bleed. So I've read Bleed 1 and Bleed 2, and it's not. I was reading that. Research purpose is a big word, but kind of seeing how other people do it. I
Yeah.
didn't want to copy paste, but those two ladies are my big go-tos at the moment, and I promote them whenever I can because they're amazing.
Yeah, look, I mean, Sarah belongs to, obviously she's one of the UK indie authors, isn't she?
The
So,
UK gang. Yeah.
so she's, I love her to bits. So Melina has asked, because I'll fit it in with the people who are asking questions. Somebody was asked in the
Sure.
comments, what made you go with the European setting and characters? It's so refreshing to read, she said. I guess it's because what you know, is it? You know the area.
Uh, um, yeah, a bit of a mix with that. I think I love slasher, but part of it can be very formulaic, and a lot
Yeah,
of it is either American summer camp or some sleepy Midwest town in America,
yeah.
which is great. Don't get me wrong, I love those. But I thought, wouldn't it be great if people could actually have a different kind of surrounding? Like personally, I would love to read a slasher set in Singapore, for example, because I
Yes,
don't know
me
that
too.
much about that art. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
thought it would be nice to open up what I know and then set that kind of almost American genre, if you want to put it that way, because it has largely been Canadian and American in the past, and put that in, yeah, European perspective, and put different cultures in there, so it's not the run of the mill slasher.
You know, I have to say that was what I found refreshing about this as a slasher, right? Was the fact that
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't set in
All
some
right.
little town. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Some little town
Yeah.
somewhere where everybody's dying. I've got a question here somewhere. Oh, Amelia, a lovely Amelia, she won your giveaway the other day. We had a 2 hour
Ah,
conversation on
yes.
WhatsApp this morning, me and Meals. Um,
Great.
she's a good friend. At what point during the writing did you know the villain, or spoiler, villains, was going to be the villain?
This one changed halfway through the writing process.
Really?
Um, yeah. Can I be honest, spoiler wise here or not? Just to know if is anyone who's watching hasn't finished it,
If
just to
anybody
be.
is watching and hasn't finished the book, please go off the live for a minute and come back because we're going to be spoilering. All right? You've
Get
been
out.
forewarned. You've been warned. That's all I'm saying, my darling. Go away, come
Okay,
back.
just to be sure, right? Yeah, yeah. Don't want to upset anyone. So halfway through that changed with like, okay, it feels weird saying it because I've never spoiled on a live, but with Lucia,
Yeah.
that changed halfway through because she was in my head when I started writing just a final girl. Um, and then I kind of went like, hold on, wouldn't it be a bit too obvious, and wouldn't it be really nice to break the wall and talk directly to the readers? And then completely rewrote the beginning of the story and put little like both red herrings and actual clues in there as well, and it made it so much more fun. I was like, you just wait, you know. So the
God,
villain wasn't
it was
Lucia
so
wasn't the villain from
clever.
the get go.
He's so clever because you
LeBeau
didn't
was.
see it.
Ah, thanks. I think, yeah, so far I don't think many people figured both of them out. Maybe some did, I don't know. But LeBeau was the plan from the get-go. Yeah, Lucia wasn't. That changed halfway through the first draft.
Do you know what I think was clever about it as well, Alan? Is that all the way through you think it's a man. Do you know what I mean? So
Hmm.
everybody who's discussing
Hmm.
this mystery killer says he, him, all the way through the book.
Hmm.
So the fact that the killers were two women, that was an incredible twist. I can usually pick up, and I didn't guess them.
That's great. That's great to hear. That's a compliment for a writer. So, yeah, that
So
was
do
a
you
bit
know
of an homage to Urban Legends as a movie as well, because that was a great female villain there too, who
love
ended
that
up being the
film.
best friend of. Yeah. Yeah,
Love that
exactly.
film.
Amelia got it too there. Yeah.
So Emmy's asked, hello Emmy. She's in the Midlands, so she'll come and see us, won't you, Emmy, when we're in Birmingham? She wanted to know if
Great.
the school was based off a real place.
Yes and no. Actually, I'm a teacher at a European school, so there's the system in different EU countries. There's 16 or 17 of them in total. In Brussels is the first one, where the kids of the commissioners and the European Parliament go to, and that's
Yeah.
where I teach. It isn't a boarding school, so that part is made up, but a lot of the little bits and bobs, like the architecture, because it is a very nice school, to be honest.
It's beautiful.
And it is a little bit of like the 1%. I'm not the 1%, but the kids are. I'm just a teacher. So you kind of pick up a lot about cultural differences, and you can see, these cliques and all these things. But so that part was definitely in there. And also the fact that um, those my students are very open-minded students, because I didn't want to make it about a friend group of women who are backstabbers, or I wanted to break through negative cliches that sometimes male writers can write women quite negatively, I think. And I wanted to show female empowerment rather than sexualizing or she had sex so she's gonna die now. You know what I mean? I wanted to focus on the friendship rather than promiscuity. So sorry, that was a tangent.
No, that's fine, and I agree with you. And it was nice that, apart from this a slight kind of misunderstandings they had between them, that actually they all really seemed to care about each other. They all seemed to love each
Hmm.
other, and so that there wasn't that kind of two-facedness to it. Do you know what I mean? So Amelia
Hmm.
has asked, would you consider using a fan of your books as a character to be unalived in one of your books? She's
That's
asking
super
about
subtle.
subtle.
Yeah, very subtle. If you give me a little bit of like a list of characteristics about your go-tos, your likes and dislikes, I might be, get some inspiration from you. Who knows? There's always bits and bobs of people that I meet through life that are, even in the third book as I'm writing it, that, subconsciously or consciously people are in there, you know?
She's very happy with that, Alan. I have to say, I've got another lovely indie author who's American called Asia Britta Guerrero, and She's writing me as a character in one of her short stories,
Ooh,
and I said, "You're only allowed to do it if I die horribly, because where's the fun otherwise?" Do you know what I mean?
I agree. An original death or a good chase scene, you know, right? Or both if possible.
I think ritual flaying, but I don't think that she's going to go for that. So we know that
Now there's a birthday.
you're working on European Horse 3 now, aren't you?
Yep, yep,
How's it
indeed.
going?
Oh, it's going well. I feel a little bit more pressure if I'm very honest and transparent with you. Might as well, right?
Yeah.
Because the first book there was zero expectations, and it's not like I'm massive or anything yet by any means. But people seem to have enjoyed it, and I've had really nice feedback. So there is this part of me that's like, oh, I hope they don't go by the end of the third. Like I read three books for this, that kind of feeling. But rather, whenever I do push that away, I'm very happy with the way it's going, and I wish I had more time because I teach a lot and I don't have that much time to actually write. I teach from 8 in the morning till 8 in the evening. And then sometimes in the evening, I write like 2, 3 hours. So I hope at one point I can do this more full time so it goes faster, the process.
I, I
But yeah,
think
it's going well.
I think people don't realise that actually, probably 95% of authors, it's not their full-time job. I think people assume it is,
No,
but for 95, even traditionally published authors, for 95% of
exactly.
them, they don't earn enough for it to be a full-time job. They have to work as well. So there's
Hmm.
only a few that make enough money to be able to do it as a living, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I hope one day, but if not, that's fine too. I mean, I'm already very, very grateful for things like this, and I couldn't have imagined even doing this when I was writing the first one, you know? So, like
Oh.
talking to people about the experiences, yeah, that's the best reward you can get. So,
Yes, it's I mean I love the books, as you know, and if anybody hasn't, go and get the second one. It's even better. And
I think so. And I know that sounds arrogant, but I agree with that one because I've learned a lot through the first process. So,
it's you will never ever see the end coming on that one. Never. I was completely gobsmacked.
angry? Or
Um, yeah, Melina's read the second book and she said it's better. Yeah, even better. And yeah, I
thank
never,
you.
never saw it coming. Never saw it coming. And then I was like, I swore and threw the book. But just so you know, the book was on my Kindle, so I threw my Kindle, not an actual book. Um,
Saying something. Yeah, I wanted to make people not angry, but like, oh, for real? No, 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 no. That kind of feeling, you know. So, yeah, and I've learned a lot through the process of mostly the proofreaders and the editors from the first one. I think I focused more on character development for the second. Well, you've read it, so there's a lot more mental health awareness, PTSD awareness, queer representation, because I wanted to get a bit more of myself in there without making it about myself, but kind of
yeah.
spreading the things that I think should be talked about nowadays. So,
I think that the mental health and certainly the PTSD representation, the second one is fabulous, because it's dealt with in a very gentle way. Actually, for a slasher, do you know what I mean? It's not
hmm.
forced into your face. It's part of their journey. So, and
Hmm.
it's a very real representation of people suffering from those conditions. Um, And also the arrow ace. You don't get that in a lot of books either, Alan. It's very rare. Do you know what I mean? So I think,
Shouldn't be rare, but I that's one of the things. Yeah, and I had a team of sensitivity readers that are on the ROA spectrum.
yeah.
So partly, some of them were only aromantic, some asexual, some both, or a mix to a certain degree, or demisexual. But I thought it was really important to show that younger people do talk about it in a different way. Because again, I see this through my students sometimes too, and that's one of the things that's quite beautiful to see. That it doesn't always have to be a heavy or a negative topic. It's great that those books exist where it goes about the struggles and the coming out process. But in my books, in my universe, let's say I want it to be just an accepted, a beautiful thing without making it, a big making a big fuss about it. If that makes sense.
It's just part of it's a small part of their whole personality. Do you know, like it
Hmm.
should be. Do you know what I mean? It shouldn't be a big thing, should it? This is just part of who I
Hmm.
am. And
Yeah.
it's done really, really well in the books. I think the mental health stuff, especially, is done really is incredibly good. Um,
Thank you.
so I think perhaps we'll go into the actual book a little bit now. Um,
Sure.
quite a few people are saying how much they enjoyed the mental health aspect, and that they'll be picking up the second book. Jolly good.
That's great. Thank you.
Get the hardback because it's gorgeous. Alan will show you the hardback of the
That's
second.
the second one over
It's
here, and it's got
beautiful.
the chain bridge of Budapest, which I also used to live in Budapest, by the way. So I guess there's a little bit of selfishness in there. It's my other old home.
And I
So
love that. And I love the fact that um, I don't think I'm giving much away, but at the beginning of the second book, it starts on a train on a journey to Budapest, and I loved that part. I really enjoyed that, and going somewhere else. I loved another going to another city. I like the new characters you brought in. So yeah, excellent. I'm not going to go into the second one because you all need to read it.
please do. That way I can buy my groceries. No, I'm kidding. Kidding, not kidding.
So I want to talk about my highlights from the first book, the bits
Oh.
they've stuck in my head, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of them. The deaths are a big one for me. I love a good death in a slasher, and I thought they were all fantastic. Do you know the first one? Now you're gonna have to pronounce these better than I can. How's better?
Uh-huh, als beta.
I was close, wasn't I? I was close.
Oh, very close. Yeah, 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 absolutely. You were like, better
I
tell me
love
I'm close.
I love the start, at the beginning of the book when you had that real tension when you wasn't sure if somebody was in the house or if it was haunted or if it was not, and you wasn't sure what was coming.
Mm-hmm.
The tension of the first part was excellent. And I loved the fact that she was sliced and diced. I loved it. I thought that's exactly what would happen in the first murder in a slasher.
It was kind of the homage to the Scream opening in a way. There's a lot of
Yeah.
Casey Becker in there of yeah. Uh yeah. So by the way, Joe's asking there if I make more profit if people buy the physical or read on KU. If I can be honest, and this is not just about me, but about any indie author, definitely a physical book because for KU we get paid per page, and I think it's like 0.001
It's ridiculous.
euro. So basically, if you read the book on KU, I get about €1 something. Whereas the physical book, I would get, I'm just being honest, I think it's good to break those barriers. 3.5 € or something. So that would be like, what, £3 for a physical book versus one for KU. So yeah,
And I think as
just,
well, on saying that if you wherever you are, if you're in Britain and it's a British author, it's a bit difficult with the postage from Europe and from America. But if you can buy directly from the author, because it's even more then. So
mm,
I nearly always buy if I can, I'll buy directly from an author. And
mhm.
just because
Thank you, Joe. That's very nice.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it's that's what it's all about, is if I mean obviously we got to like the stories, but if you love a book, I mean as Alan has said, I keep calling him Alan. I know it's not his real name, but I'm going to use it. Um um I read both the European halls as an arc for Alan, and I loved both. But I also bought the physical book. I read it on KU, I bought it on Kindle, and I've bought the hardback. Do you know what I mean? You've
That's
got
super nice,
to
isn't it?
if as and I think this is a good thing for ARC readers, for other people who ARC. If you really enjoy a book, really love a book, then you should support the author afterwards. Yeah. I think that's as it should be,
Hmm.
really.
If possible, of course. I mean, I get it that it's a cliche, but life has become more expensive. So if people don't have the budget, then full respect. My thing is anyone who makes the effort or is open to reading my story and I'm new, I'm super appreciative. But of course, if there is that possibility, then hardcover it is, you
Yeah.
know?
And the thing is, you can, the Kindle's, he's, even if it's just reading it on KU, do you know what I mean? It's a little
Hmm.
bit, isn't it? And at least you're getting
Yeah,
it out.
absolutely.
And
Hmm.
so I loved Alsbeta's death. Maria, is it Maria? Mariette?
Wait, Marike?
Marika, that's it.
The
Oh,
Dutch one?
yes.
Yeah, Marike. That's the one. Wait, I'll point them out if you figure. So, Alžbeta is over here. That's the
Yeah.
opening scene. And then Marike is over here.
With the garden tears.
Oh, yeah, that was changed. That was also not in the first draft.
I enjoyed that one, Alan. I enjoyed that one.
That's good.
But my absolute favourite was Ayat
Ayat, limousine.
with the face splitting. Oh, that was juicy.
Again, not in the first draft. So a lot of the actual kill scenes, because you asked me before, I didn't realize until you said it now. I think a lot of the storyline was there, but in the first draft, I definitely made it a bit more, a bit more gory when it came to the rewrites. Yeah.
It was proper kind
Uh,
of visceral. That was, it's like I could feel
Thanks.
the glass. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, that's
The
juicy.
Kraken.
Oh, yes. And poor Steve, bless him. Um,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
And a bit over the top because I'm aware that like anatomically, because I had like one friend who's a doctor, and she's like, this is not possible. I was like, girl, this is a slasher.
yeah.
This,
And
so, how do you call it in English? Because sorry, but as you know, not my native language. Is it suspension of no belief? No, something with disbelief. What is it called?
suspending belief or hang on.
Temporary suspension of belief or something. Help me out, people.
If anybody knows, please. I've had too much chocolate to be thinking hard.
Yeah.
And
And
Paul
thanks, Ree, by the way. I read the comment. Thank you.
and and the poor lad, is it Matej?
Mate.
Thank
Hmm.
you. Um, because all the way through you think it's him. He's so convinced it's him, and then the poor bugger gets stabbed in the back. I mean, I just think it's very sad. Do you know what I mean?
I know. He was a good guy, but nobody trusted him in the end. That was kind of like the switch of Scream as well. That everyone was like, "Oh, it's the boyfriend." No, it's not. Oh, it is in the end. So it's like, not always.
And also, as well, he's automatically suspicious because he turned up at the beginning. Do you know? He was with the first
Hmm.
victim, so it was like, well, why was he there? You know what I mean? And then he disappears. So I think that was a bit weird. He was like, why did you disappear? You silly boy. Everybody thinks it's you now. But
Exactly.
my favourite scenes. Shall I tell you? Do you want to know?
Please do. Absolutely. Yeah. I love hearing.
There's a lot of it. I love all of it, but the bit in the when they're running through the end part when they're running through the school and the killer's chasing after them, and they open the I can't remember which character does it now, but they open the door and there's a headless policeman.
Ingville. Yeah.
Oh
And
my
then they're called
god.
up, right?
I love that scene. I've got it highlighted in my book. It makes me laugh, it makes me laugh, but it's just so I can just see it. Do you know what I mean? And he's just I can't even imagine his head falling off, but I don't think he does. But in my imagination, she opens the door, he's got her head, and then it falls off. Do you know what I mean?
Like a deformed bowling ball, like something like that, right? Yeah.
Every single time. I love that poor dumb Diana that she bums into as she's running around, Olivia. And then she's like, you gotta run, and she won't run. So, I think she's brilliant. But my absolute favourite scene is when Ingvild is lying in bed and the killer is killing everybody in the room.
Hmm. I loved writing that one. I
Absolutely loved that. Loved it.
thank you. Thanks, Amelia, as well. Yeah. Again, in the first draft, she didn't survive.
Well, I mean, she's a tough cookie. She got stabbed a dozen times and thrown over a balcony.
I know. I was like, okay, again, the suspension of disbelief or belief, whatever it was. But then I thought, oh, I love Ingvild too much. I need to bring her on to the sequel, you know.
She's
So,
one of my
uh,
favourite characters. Her and Olivia is my favorite. They're two of my favourites. So,
mhm.
spoiler, glad both of them survived.
Who knows what happens after
Who
the
knows what
first one?
happens in the
But
second one? I'm not giving anything away.
me neither.
No,
I'll
no, no.
try.
I absolutely loved that scene. It was just so incredibly creepy. The
Hmm.
idea that, you know, apart from the fact you'd be terrified, because you would, the idea that if I don't say anything, perhaps they won't notice me. And we've all been in those kind of situations. And then,
Hmm.
oh, it's just so good. And the poor last one, is it I think it's the woman, the girl at the end who looks at her pleadingly as she's sneaking out the door and they're
And
stabbing.
then the neck is snapped. Yeah.
My God, that was a brilliant scene. Absolutely brilliant.
Thank you. That's
The
something that had been in my head for years because I used to go to boarding school in this really kind of in the middle of nowhere in the south of Belgium. And I always thought, oh, it'd be so great if I was living in like these halls for a while,
Yeah,
but a bit more like say the derelict version of European halls. And I always thought, oh, wouldn't it be great if an entire film was shot here? And then that scene always stuck with me, like, because I was looking around. My friends at the time, there were 4 beds, 6 beds, and I thought, how creepy would it be if I'm here and they're snoring away and they're stabbed? And I don't know if I would go fight, flight, or freeze. And I
yeah,
liked making Ingvild a bit more humane that moment too, because she was a bit like heroic up to that point.
it
But
was.
then she kind of lets her roommates die in a way, right? She doesn't really do anything to help them because
Yeah.
she's like, okay, self-protection. And I thought that's what you don't know what you would do until you're in that situation. So I thought I'm not gonna let her like fight against the killer because I wanted to show not a weak side, but a more plausible side, perhaps.
And also, I think
If that
that
makes sense.
by that point in the book, they're all pretty traumatized. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
They've lost three of their friends at that point. They know they're being stalked.
Hmm.
They know they're gonna, and they know that somebody's trying to kill them. So I think it also is realistic because I think by that point she would be really frightened and scared and think, actually be suffering from trauma at that point, wouldn't she? Do you know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, I think so too. Because that was a bit of the tricky side of making it campy and over the top. Because I'm very aware of the fact that part of it is over the top, but I still wanted to make sure there was a certain humanity and
Yeah.
in there as well. Thanks, by the way. Who was Carrie? Thank you, and Joe as well.
Ah, bless you. Thank you very
People
much.
are so nice.
I told you, people are lovely. I've also got Amelia on. She's moderating for me. Bless you, Amelia. Because so I can talk to you and not have to worry about my comments. But so
Okay.
because you do get some strange people sometimes trying to get onto the live.
Oh yeah, I've been there. Jesus Christ, yeah.
And you're just like, I'll just pop on. And you're like, who are you? I don't know who you are. So everybody I can see on there at the moment, all of them I know, and they're all in the book club. And
Hmm.
people have come in and out. I know because it's difficult time of the day. Difficult time of the day, isn't it? I don't know. I mean, it's later for you, isn't it? An hour later, but here most people it's
Hmm.
kind of tea time, and people
Hmm.
are
So
doing.
appreciate it, people. Thanks.
Oh, bless you. But yes, we've really enjoyed it in the book club. I don't have any more questions really. If anybody has any more questions in the chat, I love this book, by the way. So, and I'm very fond of Alan, to be honest.
Oh, likewise, love.
He's very sweet to me, and I have to say that
Yeah.
there's a lot of commentary sometimes in the bookish community about authors, and I have never ever had a bad experience with an author in the horror community. Um,
Hmm.
Never. It's always
Yeah,
been
yeah.
incredibly respectful. Amelia
Same
wants to
here.
know what's after European halls. Have you thought about that?
Oh yeah, there's a couple of things already on the pipeline. I'll have a good cry first, probably, because I'll be sad saying goodbye to it all started with that, right? This is my first project as a writer, so I'll probably be sad for a while. I think
Yeah.
next month it'll be finished, the first draft. Um, I don't want to give away too much because I want one of the release to be a surprise release, but I will tell you one of them will be a slasher, but a completely different setting, vibe, and everything. It will be slasher based, and I've also been asked to do a short story for the Queer Month in Books of Horror, and that will be paranormal short story.
Oh, I love
So
a
a bit different,
paranormal.
like psychological paranormal. Yeah.
Do you think you'll stick with YA, or do you think you'd go into adult horror, or would you prefer to stay?
The next slasher will definitely be adults.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a bit of a tricky one, that one with the YA, because again, I'm so new to it that I got rid of the YA tag on the new covers because a lot of people have told me that it didn't necessarily feel like YA, except for the fact that there's no, no spice or there's no swearing. But that's because I personally am not the biggest swearer anyway. I don't personally like reading that too much in books. So I don't know. Yeah, I would ask you and the readers if it feels more YA or not, because I'm a bit in dubio with that one too.
I have
So,
to say that YA is a massive spectrum, especially now.
hmm
Um, and I think this is on the edge to me. This is on the edge of older young adults. So you're talking like 19 into adult.
hmm
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's kind of it's on the edge for me because there's no swearing and there's no um spice, no smut. So you tend to have a little bit of that in adults, but
hmm
because there's none of that. But I would have thought it was on the edge of adults. This was anyway. Um,
yeah,
so for instance, I've just read for the YA book club a book called Babysitter's Coven, which are read as kind of
hmm
in between kids and teenager. It read really really young for me.
hmm
So and there's on the whole spectrum in between. So
yeah,
some
yeah. That's
people,
why I'm asking.
yeah, a lot of people are saying in the comments they thought it was like new adult.
Hmm
They thought it was adult.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah, I get you with that. I guess if you think about it, Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Valentine, most of them, they are adult films, but they're very much geared towards teenagers. All the characters are teenagers, even if the actors are like 35, but you know what I mean?
it dates back to the 70s and 80s when you go to Halloween and Friday the 13th, and in the fact that although the theme is very adult and the killer is very adult, the actual victims are teenagers.
Hmm
So it goes back to that, doesn't it? So it's kind of it, it is funny because the characters are kind of young and a bit silly, and they're supposed to be having the time of their life.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
supposed to be in their prime of their life, having a wonderful time, and then something awful happens. Um, I think that hits a bit harder than if it was adults.
Perhaps, yeah.
I
Or
think
it's
so.
even just the lightness or the campiness of it that makes you kind of feel more like you're in a roller coaster ride with your buddies, rather it being, heavily psychological, perhaps. I don't know.
I just love the genre of it. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm
It's a joy to read, really. Do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
you know what you're letting yourself in for, don't you? You know?
true. Absolutely.
Okay, so what horror character from movies would you say you are most like?
As in villain wise, or
Or you can be either, lovey. You can be the villain or you
uh-huh.
could be the final girl.
Thanks,
You do
Carrie.
what you want.
I think I wouldn't be the final girl. I would probably be the bestie of the final girl. Because those are my favorites in any of the either books or films. I always have more empathy or feel more connected to the Helen Shivers. And I Know What You Did Last Summer,
Yeah.
to like Sydney Prescott's best friends, Tatum, for example. So I think I would be like the bestie of, and my death would be the one that made people go, no, should have been the final girl. I guess that would be me as a gay man. I can only say that I feel most connected to. That's a very typical gay thing to feel connected to, either final girls or very strong female protagonists. So
I wouldn't be a final girl. I'd be the killer. Who never died.
fair enough. Who never that?
Yeah,
You'd be Michael Myers.
yeah, I would. Yeah, I'd be the one in the mask.
I could be, but in a kinky way, but that'd be like the non-YA version.
But yeah, yeah, I'd be the one who's doing all the machinations probably because that
Love that
seems so
word.
much fun. That seems so much fun. Everything
It
you do
does.
dead first is too slow. The key to being in a horror movie of any kind of horror movie, especially a slasher, is to wear good shoes you can run in. Don't wear stupid shoes.
No
Wear
heels. Yeah.
no heels.
And the slasher rules have kind of changed over the last years, right? So in the past, now, what did they say in the last one? Basically, you have to be gay to survive. So, maybe I would be the final girl.
You'll be the
You
final.
never know.
Well, you would absolutely. You would. You'd be
Hmm.
surviving. Everybody else would be. All of the cis people. They'd be dead. They'd be dead. Yeah, you'd still be alive, Lovey. You'll be all right.
Who knows? Who knows? Exactly. Who knows what happens in the future?
But I do enjoy that genre very, very much because it is cliche and it is campy, but it's
Hmm.
also really, really creepy and a lot of scenes from those movies stay in your head, don't they? Do you know?
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Definitely like the tense moments, the chase scenes. And I think that's something that I missed a lot. I don't know if you agree with this, the people that are watching and sharing that. I really miss the 90s chase scenes, and I think in a lot of more recent slashes, it's very much straight to the kills, or the kills can be very brutal and great as well, but there's less tension sometimes, almost like because the generation is more flashy nowadays. I sound so old saying that, but and I think
You're
that was
right.
one of the selfish reasons, yeah, why I wrote European Horse, because like I really miss a good chase scene. So that's why there's tons of chase scenes in the first, the second, and the third, I have to say. And those are they're the most difficult thing to write of the entire process for the
Yes.
pacing and everything. But they're the most rewarding when you look back at it and think, oh, like when you visualize it.
Oh, my husband's just come home.
Oh,
Hello,
thanks, Emilia.
darling.
Hello.
He's been at work, bless him. Yes, I agree. And I like that. I like the fact that people, and that idea that people think they've got away and then suddenly they turn a corner or somebody comes out of a corner or they're running down a
Hmm.
corridor and somebody comes out of a door. Do you know, I love that kind of, it's the jump scare, isn't it? Hi, Carl. Amelia
Hmm.
says hi.
Hey
Um,
there.
but I love that. Those kind of jump scares are what make a slasher really good, I think, in my opinion.
I
And
agree.
this is really visual. This would work really good as a film. If any film producers are listening in,
Manifesting.
manifest it.
Yeah, I'd love that. I'd love that.
European
And you haven't really
horse.
seen that in films, right? Like a mix of European protagonists. It's, I mean, that would be really cool having a Croatian, having a Polish. I think even like marketing wise, it would be clever having the new Polish Jenna Ortega with the new da 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 Croatian. And they're big in all their specific countries. They come together and they could have like a massive fan base that way too.
I think it's such an original take on the slasher format, which is generally tends to be very American.
Hmm.
And this is and the thing that's so good about it is that it's set in a very, very modern European city. There's no it's set in I mean the building they're in is old and architectural, but the setting is very modern. It's not some tiny little small town where everybody's a weirdo, is it?
Hmm.
Do you know? And
Yeah.
I think that's a great marketing ploy. Do you know?
Yeah, and definitely for the second one in Budapest, I really tried to use the city as a protagonist, and really think, okay, more so than the first one, because I was world building in the first, and the second one was more like, okay, how can I use the big spots that everyone knows in Budapest, or people that haven't been there, how can I attract them to that city? Because it's my number one city in the world.
Beautiful city.
Um, and then like in those big, specific spots, which I won't say which one, like get them offed, basically, get some people killed. So that was really fun, really like utilizing Budapest in the sequel.
I really
So.
I enjoyed that. Felt more. I think the second one felt more like a road trip that's gone wrong. Do you know? Where's the and Amelia said in the just in the comments that the first one had a very dark academia feel to it, which I think it
Hmm.
did. Whereas the second one is much
Yeah.
more like, oh look, we've survived. Let's go and have a trip. Uh-oh. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, bugger. Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. Oh no, what's happening now?
Uh,
And
yeah.
but it is a fantastic book. But We've been chatting for nearly an hour, Alan, so I'm going to let you go because you're a busy man. And I'm going
I
to do some
appreciate it.
I'm going to do some reading sprints for. I mean, you're welcome to stay for the reading sprints in the comments if you want. But I'm going to do some reading sprints now, and I don't want to be on too late because I've been on my own all day because my husband's been working, so I want to spend a bit of time with
Want
him.
to celebrate a bit, right, for your birthday? There you go.
Yes,
I'll.
premature
I've got a
celebrations.
little. I got a little present for you, but I'll send it to you later. That as a
Ooh!
thank you for this and for your birthday, of course.
So
So
everyone
thanks so much for
watching.
having me on.
This is the book European Halls by Alan Shivers. It's a 90s homage to the 90s slashers. It's absolutely brilliant. Set in the European city of Belgium. If this is the hardback copy, there's also a paperback copy.
Hmm.
Just so you know, I've got all our aspects. And this is the original one I bought when it first came out.
Yep, yep.
So
October.
long time.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
I'll tell you something though. You've really flown through, haven't you? Considering when did you contact me last September? And
Yeah,
it's
I released it at the 1st of October, the first book. Yeah.
so it's only February and you're already on your third book. It's pretty impressive.
Thanks. I'm trying to keep the steam in there, and I'm very motivated, and I love what I do. So it's lovely telling that story. And by the way, everyone, just so you know, the third one is on pre-order temporarily just for 99 cents because it is gonna go up once it's released. Because I mean, you know, but it's again out of all transparency when it comes to the how do you call it? The basically the more pre-orders you get in, the more Amazon pushes your book out to people afterwards. So I'm trying to get some pre-orders in there. So if you're thinking of reading the third one anyway, might as well get the cheaper version, I'd say.
Yeah, it's only
So
99p or 99 cents at the moment on
yeah,
Amazon for the third one, which is called Alan.
have a guess. European Horse
European
3.
Horse
Da, da,
3.
da, da, da. There you go. That'll be the
I,
end of the trilogy. Oof. Be
I can't wait to see
it.
who survives or who not. I can't wait.
I can't wait. I still don't really know. I have three alternate endings at the moment, so we'll
Oh.
see what I go with.
But
Hmm.
you can always add them as additional. You can always add them as additional in the hardback. You know what I mean? Quite
I
a
was
few
thinking of doing it
alternate
like in a newsletter or something, right?
endings.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's always good fun.
yeah.
But anyway, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Thank you so much for letting me have your book in my indie horror book club. And yeah, onwards and upwards, my love. It's so nice to speak to you.
Yeah, finally, right? I'm really,
Yeah.
really appreciative of you, and thanks everyone who's been, posting things and been watching. Really appreciate that you've taken the time to give someone new a chance. It's very kind of you. So thanks everyone, and enjoy the sprint. I'm gonna do some writing now because I feel
Ooh, feel
inspired thanks to you
motivated.
people.
Ooh. All right, my
The
darling. Well,
juicy bits.
you take care of yourself, and I'll hopefully see you. Hello, Kitty. Say hello to Alan
Oh,
as well.
hi.
Hello, beautiful. Oh, my baby.
Oh,
Um,
gorgeous.
hopefully see you in August.
Yeah, definitely will. It's in the calendar, so that'd be great. See you.
You take care. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Ciao.
Uh, I think that's that. Okay. That's bless Alan. Bless him. That wasn't sweet of him, wasn't it? Um, right, my loves. I don't know if any of you are left. I don't know if you fancy doing some reading sprints. Um, my husband's just come home with food. Have you, dear? For himself, I have to add. I don't need any food. And but yeah, this is one of my t-shirts I got today. It says um easily distracted by books and cats, which is true, isn't it? So let me know if you'd like to do a reading sprint or you all want to get off, my angels. I'm easy either way. He's adorable and he's such a nice man, I have to say, Alan. Um, that's the first time we've actually spoken. We like you and me today, Mills. We voice noted each other a lot, and we've messaged each other a lot, and so it's just really sweet. So glad I got to speak to him. The Indie Horror Book Club for next month is Beta by Sammy Scott, which I've put as a cosmic horror. It's actually Oh, bless you, Joe. It's actually, I might do that actually, to be fair. Because, hello, Kelly. I hope you do. How are you getting on, darling? Are you still in hospitals? Are you all right? Hope you're all right, my lovely. But, yeah, I've put it as a cosmic horror, but really what it is a high tech horror, but it is really, really creepy. And it's basically about this man who's asked to live in a completely AI controlled house for 3 months, and the home will take care of everything with it, everything for him, meet his every need. And the question is, if it's an AI and their whole purpose is to serve you, and then you're going to leave, what's their purpose? So that's the next book, which is Beta by Sammy Scott. I'm glad you're okay, Kelly, darling. Oh, it's in the morning. Sending you lots of love and healing. I hope you're okay. It's a worry, isn't it? It's always a worry. Hospitals are not the nicest place to be. And I know your lovely partner will be taking care of you. And I did say earlier on, Keldon, if you were on, but we are planning on doing an indie horror author convention in Birmingham in August Bank Holiday weekend. So we'll be getting a load of UK and Alan, who's just been on, Alan Shivers from European Halls. Still advertising it. Who will be coming over, and a lot of UK indie horror authors. I think it'll probably be in a venue in Digbothy Way. And I'll be on the door. So we will be, once we've got that all sorted, the venue sorted, I will come on, I will be promoting that, as will all the authors who are involved. I think that Phil Baker's going to be coming, Matt Rayner, Jim Oddy, Lee Kenny, MJ Mars, Sarah Jules will be there. Certainly Alan is going to be there. I think Robbie Litsky will probably come. So yes, it'd be lovely to meet you too, my darling. I'm so looking forward. I've got so many wonderful plans this year. There's that in August, when I meet all my lovely author friends and all my lovely bookish people. And then in November, I'm going to YALC, Young Adult Literary Convention. So I'm going to that. My husband's coming with me. I'm disabled, as you all know, so he has to come with me. And he's going to go to the Comic Con downstairs. I expect I'll pop in there as well, to be fair. So I'm really looking forward to meeting a lot of other bookish people in that. So it's yes. It won't be expensive, Emmy. I would have thought the tickets would be no more than a tenner to get in. It won't be expensive, dependent on the price of the venue, of course. So, I mean, you might have to save up for books. I mean, I can't help you with your book budget. But anyway, yeah, exactly. That's the point. That's what they're for, innit, Kelly? I mean, I love my husband dearly, and but he's had to work today because where he works, we're not going to mention where he works because I'm not allowed to. But he asked for this week off because I was off, and they gave him Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday off. The only day he didn't get off was my actual birthday. Well, but he's back now, so
That's retail for you.
that's retail, innit? I know quite a lot of you work in retail too. Oh yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, a lot of these authors that will be coming, I've already bought from them, but I'll still probably buy something else. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that's the thing, innit? It's like Yauk is, by the time I've bought the hotel and the tickets and everything, it's probably, being 800 or 900 quid for the two of us. But I'm going to need the same amount again just to buy the books. So that's what the problem is. But anyway, my darlings, I'm going to go off now and chat to the hubby and see if he's all right. And thank you all so much for joining in. Thanks, Mills, for keeping an eye on the comments for me, darling. I did find out how to do the moderation thing. And I really appreciate all of you coming on and supporting Alan. He's such a sweet man. And thank you, Emmy. I will. Thank you so much, Deborah. Thanks, Joe. Thank you so much for my present, my darling. I'll show you what Joe bought me. Actually, She bought me this book, which is on my wish list, which is all inspired by Shirley Jackson. It's brilliant. And I don't know if you saw it. Did you see it earlier on? Where is it? Absolute. I've never seen anything like it. It's a bookmark, and it goes over the book. I can't wait to try this. It's so brilliant. Thank you so much, Joe. You're absolute darling. Thank you so much. And but yeah, you take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all soon, my loves. Yeah, have a great night. Stay warm, stay hydrated, keep reading fantastic books like this one. Bye bye, my darlings. Bye bye.